Dave, not sure if you have the answers yet today, but are Ethan Bear or William Lagesson a realistic possibility for tomorrow night's game at this point?
Lagesson's not ready. He won't play tomorrow night. Ethan Bear had a good day today, and he's going to check with the doctors today, and so we'll have a better idea in the morning where he's at.
Rob Chakowski, Post Media.
Just your pairing of Nurse and Barry. Obviously, as a coach, that's a pretty nice luxury to have. Just can you kind of maybe discuss about what they bring to the table and the comfort they give when you're able to throw them over the boards for 25, 30 minutes a night?
Well, they played really well together, you know, and both of them as individuals have played really well here lately, but they've meshed pretty good. Nurse has just really played a strong all-round game, both sides of special teams. He doesn't get as much power play, but big-time penalty killer for us. And Barry's really got comfortable in the role as on the power play, and the two of them together, they've meshed pretty well. And you know, they normally play with one of those top two lines that they help move the puck and help drive those lines. So both of them have been pretty good.
They came together 10 games ago, and obviously things in those 10 games have gone pretty well. I don't know if you can draw a straight line correlation or to what extent that is. And is that now a pairing that no matter who comes back, you don't really want to mess with?
You don't know that. I mean, different things change here and there, and you know, when you have a pairing, they play together most of the time. But then it's just like when you have lines, there's times when you switch a guy in there in and out for situational stuff. So there's different things that come into a game where you try to maximize the personnel you have. And Nurse and Barry have played real well together the last 10 games, but Nurse and Bear played well together before that too. So we'll see where it goes. We're happy with the Nurse and Barry combination. Has been really strong for us. I don't see us changing that anytime soon, but we'll see. We got to get Bearsy back up and healthy and get him running, and we'll see where things go.
Steve Wino, Associated Press.
Hey, Dave, a lot's been made about kind of the offensive kind of production in your division. Is there something about this division and the teams in it that lead to so much scoring? And how important does it make it to be a good defensively structured team when you're playing in a division like this?
Well, first of all, your first part of the question is you just got really good players. You got top players. When you got Connor and Draisaitl, and you got Matthews, Marner. I mean, there's Pettersson. I mean, there's Scheifele. There's some really good players in this division. So that's driving the offense a little bit. And the second part, when you're playing against really good players, you better be able to defend pretty well. Otherwise, the game can get out of hand. So they go hand in hand. I think every team, you try to become a better team by driving both sides, offense and defense. Top players that drive offense. That's a hard job, but they're expected to do it, and we've got some guys that have really done a good job at it. But that being said, we have to be a good defending team. If we're going to be a good team and a team that can be a playoff team, we've got to be a strong defending team.
Thank you.
Mark Spector, Sportsnet.
So you found your team's found an identity here, Dave. You're going pretty good. How do you? The issue with this team before, as it's grown up, it's been some good games, some bad games, swing. How do you make this the norm? How do you try to set this in as something that you get most every night?
Well, that's what everybody's striving for all the time. You're striving for consistency in what you're doing, and ultimately to get that consistency, you've got to have a lot of players playing well throughout your lineup. And we've had that the last little while here. There's nights when some players have played better than others or had more impact, but then there's other nights when there's other parts of our team that have been strengths of our team, and allowed us to win. So we want to be a consistently strong team, on both sides of the puck. We know we have some offensive capabilities that have to be there every night, but we know for us to become the team that we want to be and become a playoff team, we have to be a good defending team. So you're always looking for that happy balance, and you need consistency on both sides of the puck if you're going to be a good team.
Can you tell me something about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's the longest serving guy. He was one of those string of first overalls here that struggled to, they lost a lot when he was a kid here. Now he's moved from center to wing and he's become a leader on this team, and, this player's turned into something different than we thought we'd be, but he's a pretty good player. What do you think of him?
He's a really good player, really smart player. Easy guy to play with. Players want to play with him because he's smart. He can make plays, and he's smart. He's exactly what we're talking about. He's smart on both sides of the puck. He's got strong hockey IQ, good skill, but he uses it on both sides of the puck, not just the offensive side. That makes him a guy that guys want to play with, and you, as a coach, you look down the bench, you're looking for somebody that can get a job done, whether it be offensively or defensively, and he's the guy that you can put in both those positions. So just a good player.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Dave, it looked like Yamamoto was out there. Were you concerned that last game where he got sandwiched by Lindholm and Robinson that something might be a little more serious?
No, he was a pretty hard hit. He got banged up pretty good, but he was all right yesterday. Today was out there in practice, so we'll see how he is. But it doesn't seem like there's any ill effects. We kept him out the other day. The score was we had a lead in the game, so we just out of precaution we kept him out. But he seemed all right. I haven't talked to him after practice, but he got through practice fine.
And is there a temptation as a coach when McDavid is going so good, and it's only halfway through the game and he's rolling, to just keep playing him? You cut him back. You played other guys, because you didn't, the score was getting out of hand, and you said, I don't need to play him or what?
No, we're playing to win. I mean, there's no use overtaxing somebody when the game's 5-6-7-1. You play everybody. That's the way it is. If you're going to play Connor just so he can go out there and get points, he doesn't want that. Our team doesn't want that. We need to play a strong team game. So if you're just trying to showcase one guy, that's not the best thing for the team.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, you got both goalies back up and running. When you look at your schedule and stuff, Mikko talked how important it was for him. He had 6 days of practice time. You never felt he was tired during all the games, just more the practice time. So do you kind of have a magic number between you and Dustin Schwartz on, if maybe it's 3 starts or 2, what's that number when you kind of plan forward now with having both goalies running?
You know what? We're going to take it game by game here, because with the shortened schedule, you're going to need both guys, but it's if you look at the next couple of weeks isn't bad, but then we get into a stretch where it's a lot of games in a short amount of nights. So you got to make sure they both get enough practice, both get enough work out of game work, but then you got to make sure they're rested enough to play the games as well as they can. So that's a big advantage, having both guys back, and Mikko played really well the other night, so both guys playing well, and that's what we were hoping for, and hopefully we can keep going that way.
And you mentioned Lagesson isn't ready yet, so we would think maybe that Caleb Jones gets back in. Jones was really good for you last year, and what do you like about his game, Dave? Maybe what do you want to see more from him when he gets back in?
There's just different situations. There were some games when there were some parts of the game that had to improve, some defending parts of the game, and then we're looking at different roles. Like it's not as if you can say, he played bad, we're going to leave him out. We're looking for people in different roles and how to mesh the 6 guys back there, or sometimes we had 7. So he's available. We'll have to see where we are with injuries, and he's a player that we feel confident. We throw him in there, he's going to do the job. But just we've been looking for a different mix, and his number hasn't came up.
Ryan Rishaug, TSN.
Hey, Dave, I know you had a scheduled team day off yesterday. Unless I missed him, no Draisaitl on the ice today. Any injury issues? Are you expecting to be available tomorrow?
No, he's available tomorrow. We just gave him an extra day today.
Thanks.
Last 2 questions, Paul Gazzola, Oilers TV.
Hey, Dave. I know you've coached offensive defensemen like Sergei Zubov and Keith Yandel and Ekman Larson before. but have you ever coached such an offensively charged defense pairing like Nurse and Bering right now?
Well, they played very well together. You know, the two of them have meshed well together. I can't remember if I've ever had two guys going as well as they have. I mean, like you say, I've been fortunate to have some good players, and Zubov and Keith Yandel and Ekman Larsson, players like that, but not two guys that are driving it. But that's the strength of our team right now. That pair's been very good for us, and Nursey's really logging a lot of minutes on both sides of the special teams, and you know, they've just been a good pair.
Final question, Jim Matheson.
I didn't notice Neil and Turris out there. What's their situation?
Turris skated with some injured guys. He got injured in practice last Friday in Calgary, and was off the ice a couple days, and he skated with some with the injury guys this morning, and then Neil was just off the ice today.